Yo, what's good, man? This is your boy at DFSMasterMind _ over on Twitter. Today's date is May the 9th. I know it's a little later than, when I put my videos out. I was ripping and running all morning, and then I had to catch up on some sleep, man. I had to take my lady to the airport, dude. And, we stayed up all night just chilling. And as soon as I got back to the crib, man, I went straight to sleep. I didn't mean to oversleep this long, man, so I'm glad I put the video out last night. But I'm going to give you my top two pitching, man. I'm running out two lineups. I got each of these lineups in a couple head-to-heads, a couple tournaments. And I'm going to rock with my two solid lineups, man. I feel really good about them. In one lineup, I'm paying up for Max Scherzer. And the other lineup, I'm paying up for Carrasco. I want to get that security, man, that security at pitching. It just makes me feel comfortable, especially in those head-to-heads, man. You want to definitely make sure you nail your pitching on that. So I got those guys, man. I think they're in decent matchups. Baltimore still scares me a little bit, man. They really do. I'm always a believer in Baltimore. But I think Scherzer, his stuff is just too nasty. And, the K upside will be there, so I like him. And then Carlos Carrasco is going up against a depleted Toronto offense. They started to get their bats going a little bit, but they haven't been playing against elite arms, so I'm going to take a chance on him. So we got that out the way, man. Those are my top two pitchers. People that I do like, man, I still like Drew Pomeranz, man. I talked about him in my last video. I like Jarrell Cotton a little bit. Who else, man? Who else could I say? Robbie Ray, man, I would be careful with him, dude. He's going up against these right-handed bats versus Detroit. We all know Detroit likes to pound left-hand pitching. Robbie Ray could blow up, man. I could easily see that. And the same thing with Verlander, man. I think he has the stuff. He has the juice, man. But it's scary going up against the Diamondbacks, especially in a favorable hitter's ballpark. So, keep that in mind if you're rostering those fellas. I like Jeff Samardzija. I think he's in a decent spot. He's worse against lefties, and the Mets have a lot of lefties. But I think he could be okay, have a decent start. I think that's going to do it for pitching. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right. Yeah, that's going to do it for pitching, man. I want to talk about hitting real quick. Now, I can't lie to y'all, man. I made two lineups, man. I already got my lineup set in stone. If anything else changes, I will be updating my Twitter. But as of right now, man, I'm not doing like an all-out stack like I normally do. Normally, I like to get 3 or 4 guys in a lineup on a team that I like. But today I had to pay up for pitching, man. So it was either I kept running into situations where I didn't want to take the third person because of price, or I just didn't want to pay too low and not get any production. So I'm doing a lot of 2-2s, man. I got a bunch of two of my favorite bats on teams that I want to target. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give you 3 of my 2-2 players, man. Starting off with, I got Evan Longoria and Brad Miller in one of my lineups. I think that is a really solid combination. They're going up against Chris Young. He gives it up, man. He really gives it up. So I like them as a mini stack. And then I have I got Ricky Weeks in this one too, man. So I do have 3 players. Look at that. What do you know, man? I do have a 3 stack. Ricky Weeks, man, I threw him in there, same situation as the other hitters. He's in the 5 spot, so maybe he can get some ribbies. And he's going up against a bad pitcher, man. And he's a super cheap bat that allowed me to fit some of my top dogs, man. Another 2-2 I got is Jose Altuve and Carlos Beltran. I like that. I like that little link up. I think they can definitely get to Bartolo. And then I got a couple more, but I'm going to just give you one more. I have Kipnis and Diaz for the Cleveland Indians, man. I think they're in a really good spot. You know, we got to, if you feel like you have a team, man, you have a stack that you love, man, man, roll that shit out there, man. Make sure you're not sacrificing on certain parts of your lineup. One thing that I really feel good about, every single person in my lineup, I know they have a comfortable floor, man. I feel decent. I don't think anybody's gonna give me a goose egg. And you know, I think everybody is very, very capable of getting a few hits, man. So I'm feeling really good, and I paid up for pitching. I feel secure. You know, so I guess that's gonna do it, man. I don't know what else to talk about. You know, I gave you a few value bets with Ricky Weeks and Beltran is slick underpriced, man. You know, before I get out of here, I'm gonna just talk about a few spots that I do like, man. Just a few. I'm gonna touch on a few spots, man. Like, let's see. I think we could look at Washington. If you want to do a couple players from there going up against Jimenez, I think they're in a good spot. I also think some of these Philly bats, man, are definitely in play against Miranda. It sounds like Miranda's going to be somewhat chalky. From what I've been hearing, I've been watching a few videos, listening to a few podcasts earlier in the day. So I'm not a believer. I'm not a believer in Miranda, so I may have to roll out one more lineup and give me a few of these left-handed bats or right-hand, either one, man. I think Michael Saunders in play, Tommy Joseph, of course, Altair. He's been balling. They're in a good spot, man. I like them. Who else, man? Cards and Miami, I think they're decent, man. They're decent. It's hot out there, man. So we can keep that in mind. It's very, very hot. Who else? I mean, of course, the Yanks, man, and the Cincinnati Reds, if weather allows the game to play, we could do an all-out game stack on that. And I do like Boston bats, and I like Milwaukee bats, just because of the field, though. Dang. Just because of the field, man, I think they're in a good spot, man. We all know Miller's Park is definitely one to be had, man. Homers will leave the stadium, so I like that situation. I definitely want to target a couple people from the Minnesota side, even though as of right now I don't have any exposure to the Twins, but they're definitely in a good spot. I'm gonna make one more lineup, y'all. I really am, because I want to do, maybe I'll do a Twins and a Philly. A Twins and a Philly mini stack. That sounds good. I think I could find some pieces that might fit well together. Of course, I talked about Atlanta and Houston. And then these late games, man. I always like having some late exposure. Oh, I got a few of the Dodgers, man. I got Toles in the lineup with Yasmani. I think I even got a one-off with Puig. I think they're in a good spot, man, going up against Nova. The K stuff is just, his K stuff is low. So we could definitely target a few areas. And I think these athletic bats could be sneaky, 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 man. I definitely have a one-off with Chris Davis. I play him a ton, man. I like the upside. Any given night, he can go long. You know, so I like him going up against Alex Myers. He's just a young buck, man. Has trouble controlling himself. But I think that's going to do it, man. That's going to do it. Hopefully this video helped. If you like the video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, man. Come back and rock with me. I'm going to be here giving out my picks. If y'all want to let me know who y'all playing, y'all want to put me up on game, what's your top stack, hit me up at Twitter, at DFSMasterMind_, man. Y'all bless up. Let's get to the green line, man. Let's get to the green line tonight. Cash out. And y'all have a good night.